When you see Aaron Likens give a crisis intervention training presentation, you might think to yourself, there's no way this young man has autism. But Aaron hasn't always been able to present like this.
It's because he's in his comfort zone when he's presenting, when he's blogging, when he's playing the role, as he likes to call it, of autism expert or author or public presenter.
Even though I'm talking about my relationships I've had and the struggles I have, there's a disconnect there because I'm simply playing a role.
Who you see when he's presenting is very different than who you see if he's not. He still has difficulty sometimes with answering questions, having a conversation. If he gets into a situation he's not been in before, he's very unsure of how to negotiate that socially.
His life has changed dramatically in the last few years. Aaron was diagnosed at 20 years old with Asperger's syndrome, and since then, he has learned to take this challenge and turn it into opportunity.
3 years ago, he lived in the back room of my house, spent all of his time in a recliner, playing video games, depressed and crying. And he would say, "Dad, is everything going to be okay? I have no hope." And I'd tell him, "Aaron, you might not have any hope. I'll have enough hope for both of us." And that's what Aaron gives to the world.
He's living independently. He's got a job, and he's traveling nationally speaking to hundreds of people, signing books all across the country, and making a difference and really making an impact on people's lives.
Aaron began using his gift of writing to share with the world how a mind on the autism spectrum works. Through his book, Finding Kansas, Aaron has given hope to so many families.
I had a teenager come running up to me after one of his presentations wanting to buy his book, and his dad joined him very quickly, and his dad said, in the middle of, he just said how grateful he was for Aaron's presentation. In the middle of his presentation, his son leaned over to him and said, "This is what I've been trying to tell you for years, and I haven't had the words."
Aaron also shares his insights on a daily basis with his blog, Life on the Other Side of the Wall.
He goes through the angst and the pain, and yet at the end of his blog, but he says, "This is good because it reminds me of who I am and why I am here, which is to bring awareness and hope to families that have no hope."
Before his diagnosis, Aaron had dreams of becoming a race car driver, but those plans have changed.
And Autism Speaks had given him tickets to the Autism Speaks 400 in Dover, Delaware. And one of the directors at Autism Speaks, she said, "Do you still want to race?" And he said, "You know, Jimmy Johnson winning that race yesterday didn't change a single life. I am, because I'm in a new race, and that's to raise awareness."
He is on this race to spread awareness. If you read his book, Plan A was always to be a race car driver, and he got really close to doing that. But to all of our benefit, he didn't make that. Instead, he's on this other race of awareness, understanding, and developing compassion for people on the spectrum.
He has worked tirelessly over the past few years to provide presentations to various groups in the community, as well as to law enforcement and first responders, to help them interact more safely and effectively with individuals on the autism spectrum.
He'll go and he'll talk, and he won't even recognize the impact that he's having. The Intellectual and Developmental Disability Research Center at Washington University had Aaron as their keynote speaker. In addition, they had community providers talking about services that were available, and then they had researchers there.
Aaron was done, the applause started, and it went on, and it went on, and it went on. And usually you expect it to tail off, and then people started standing up. And the whole thing went on for 2 minutes. And the thing I love about Aaron is his innocence. We go outside, and he says,
Am I making a difference? Am I really doing anything?
and I said, "Yes, Aaron, that was really good, really good."
Maybe that's part of Asperger's syndrome, in that since I don't try and I just do it and it's easy, how could it be any good? even though I've traveled the state, traveled the country, given presentations, I'm still trying to sort of make that case of who I am and why I am. So maybe if I knew it was good, maybe it wouldn't be any good anymore.
Aaron is impacting lives everywhere he goes by courageously sharing his triumphs, his struggles, and his perspective.
Aaron, with his life, is living an example of what someone on the spectrum can do, that there aren't limitations, and that we all can help remove any limitations to help people understand what their talents are, what their strengths are, help them find their place in the world where they can make a contribution. And I see Aaron doing that, and I feel blessed to just have had a small part in helping him along the way.
A lot of kids say my dad is my hero. Aaron is my hero.
And that's what makes Aaron Likens a 2012 mental health champion.